Hey there.
Oh man, has it been a little bit since I've gotten to do one of these. I've just been super focused on doing stuff for the main channel. We had the silver video, we had the April Fool's last release look at, and a couple other things, like I had to do a quick review on this new chair, the EP500 from Bullies that I'm sitting in. You can check all that stuff out if you want, but I'm good. Happy to be sitting back down in the chair, talking to the webcam, talking to you guys about some things we've talked about on stream. I wanted to get back into doing these things, starting with something that I honestly think is pretty important for, I think the greater, online gaming community. The difference between decompilation and recompilation, especially for Sonic fans, ever since Sonic Unleashed Recompiled came out. I've been seeing a lot of different comments of being like, oh, this game should get a decompilation. Oh, this game should be a recompilation. Obviously, it's not as simple as it seems. I've also been seeing the words used interchangeably, and while I'm not particularly tech savvy, I believe I've done a good amount of research and have talked to people I've trust, like the people who work on Hedge Dev, who made Unleashed Recompiled, and Chaos X, of course, and Beats, and other types of folks who are really knowledgeable about this kind of stuff, to sort of have a condensed explanation on what the difference between decompilation and recompilation is. Because I would say for the general internet user, there are a lot of things that aren't particularly important to know the difference of. In my opinion, the difference between what a framework is and what an engine is doesn't really matter that much. Again, in general talking, obviously, if you're really in-depth talking about that stuff, it is important to know the difference, and it certainly doesn't help when some Sonic fan games put the blank engine in their title, even though they're actually a framework, but oh well, what are you gonna do? So the conversation started on stream because I was talking about Sonic Mega Mix Mania, which I still highly recommend playing. Version 1.1.1 just came out, and I hope that when they continue to update the mod, they're just gonna keep adding point ones to it. But that was my shill for Mega Mix Mania, and let's jump into the conversation. Decomp it already runs on PC because you're just able to do a lot more when the game is essentially open source versus strictly modding the PC release. Decomp versus recomp, as a computer noob, I do tend to get a little annoyed when it's actually. You say a thing and it's well, not exactly, actually it's this, this, and this. And for most things, I'm okay, but the difference between decomp and recomp is actually pretty massive, so it's important to understand the difference. A decompilation are people going in, taking a thing with unreadable code and turning it all into human-readable source code. Whereas a recomp is using a program to turn the unreadable code into unreadable PC code with a little bit of human intervention in there for the things that the program can't do. Recomp is definitely the future, because for most enhancements you would make to a game, you don't really need to know every single line of code, but decomping is a more thorough process. You second that description? Let's go! PO6 guys said it's valid. To explain it a little bit better without all the ums and ahs of me trying to play a video game while I'm also trying to explain something, in both scenarios, the goal is to take a game from whatever its original console is, which a lot of explanations refer to as the machine code. So the Xbox 360 version of Sonic Unleashed uses machine code, for example. And it's to take that game and convert it into what is essentially an open source version on PC, where people can go in and manipulate the important bits of the code in whatever way they want to make mods or new games using the basis of that game. And in a decompilation's case, it's humans actually going in and converting all of the machine code into human readable PC code, usually in C# or C++, I think. And what a recompilation does is it uses a program, like for Sonic Unleashed Recompiled, it was Xenon Recomp, to take a lot of the machine code and convert it into unreadable by humans PC code. And after the program does that, humans go in and turn the parts that are necessary to be read by humans to convert that unreadable PC code into human readable PC code. And oh, sorry, I hit the mic. And whatever the program wasn't able to convert to do that stuff manually. So essentially, recompilation is sort of a shortcut because you don't need to know all the information about the video game in order to manipulate what you want about it in order to make a mod or do something better, which is nice. Even though I think decomp is ultimately the goal, because if you have the entire game converted into human readable PC code, you can do whatever you want with it. And obviously that's a lot harder for 3D games than it is for something like a 2D game, though the process on either side is incredibly insane already and requires a massive amount of work in order to even come close to having something that replicates the original game on PC. Wanted to throw that out there. I hope it makes more sense. I'm sure there's going to be folks who look at this video who are more knowledgeable than I am, so feel free. I don't think there are any corrections that need to be made, but even if I'm wrong, I wanted to put this out there to at least start the conversation, hopefully make people more informed on how difficult it is to not only do this, but also understand that the words are saying kind of mean two completely different things, two completely different workflows, and two completely different amounts of time in order to be completed. Now, naturally, I think this begs the question of, well, why don't we just recompile every single video game? And almost as if this was recorded afterward, I talk about that on stream too. Because so far, recompilation has only been figured out for N64 and Xbox 360. Or at least the tools for recompilation has only been figured out for those two. Out of curiosity, I did a little research on Reddit, of course the most reputable source, but this post seems to be credible as it has links to all the different GitHub repositories for this stuff, is that the Chip 8, the NES, the IRIX, the N64, and the Xbox 360 all seem to be the consoles, even though I've never heard of the Chip 8 or the IRIX. Kind of sounds like a government thing. Apparently all of those have decompilation/recompilation tools, so I don't know if there are any cool NES recomps out there, but I should probably take a look, I think. It is nuanced, but an important difference to understand. With decompilation obviously taking a significant amount of more work than a recomp does, but that doesn't mean recomps also don't take a significant amount of work. Like the lesser of two evils, I guess. The idea of a decompilation is to have it completely replicate one-to-one. Decomp and recomp are two different means of the same ends, yeah. Decomp is ideal. Recomp is kind of just good enough. Like, you have what you need to do what you want to do. Decomp is great, though, because it essentially turns the game into open source, which is why people are able to do crazy things like the Pokemon ROM hacking community with Poke Crystal and Poke Emerald, complete disassemblies of Pokemon Crystal and Pokemon Emerald. So that's all I wanted to say on that. I really hope you enjoyed. This was fun to do again. I really enjoy these types of videos and have gotten great feedback on these kinds of videos. Again, if you have more knowledge and maybe I made a slight error or something, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely curious, though I feel pretty good about the explanation, but of course there's always more to learn, especially when it comes to computers. Oh my gosh, they are so deep. There's so much going on. It's amazing that noobs like me can even drag and drop folders and shit. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. And because I'm 4 seconds away from the 8-minute mark and those juicy mid-rolls, Haley's gonna come in and tell you guys a joke. After you.
What does the skeleton say before he eats? Bon appetit!
You could have been a little more original.